Welcome in to 2 Hour Health, and we are going to discuss today something that I'll bet you every single person in our audience deals with or has dealt with.
I dozed
Jack's
off.
falling asleep.
I dozed off.
We're going to be talking about sleep disorders, and we are so blessed to have Michael Dodd, who is the director of the Sleep Disorder Center.
I'm the team leader at the Sleep Disorder Center.
This man knows what he's talking about, so we're going to bring you some wonderful information. And we're going to start out, Michael, asking you, give us some examples of actual sleep disorders.
Okay, certainly. At the Baptist South Sleep Disorder Center, we treat over 84 different diagnosable sleep disorders. Gosh. Yes, there's a lot.
That's it.
And that's why sleep and sleep problems affect so many people, because there's so many different problems that people experience when they sleep. Probably the #1 sleep disorder that we see in the Sleep Disorder Center is sleep apnea. And that's where people stop breathing in their sleep.
Whoa.
So most of our patients come through the sleep center, and that's what we're diagnosing initially for the most part.
So how do you know if you have it, for one thing?
That's a great question. Most patients initially come to us because their bed partner complains about their snoring. So snoring is definitely one of the top symptoms that we see. Patients that snore loudly, that gasp or choke in their sleep can certainly be people that have sleep apnea. So it's usually the bed partner, but the patient themselves usually experiences daytime fatigue. They don't wake up feeling rested. They're up to the restroom a lot during the night.
Right.
It's usually a combination of all those things that brings a patient into our Sleep Disorder Center for sleep apnea.
I'm going to ask a kind of a common sense question here.
Sure.
How do you know what the differentiation is between sleep apnea and just somebody who just, like a lot of us who are older, I mean, we're going to get up a couple of times during the night to go to the restroom anyway.
Sure.
And how do you know? What makes the difference?
Well, again, it could be some other sleep disorder. As we age, we do have more problems with sleep. Typically that's because as we age, we have more aches and pains. Those kind of things can wake us up during the night. So really the way to differentiate it is, do you have the other symptoms, the snoring, the gasping, the choking?
Okay.
But if any patient is waking up and they don't feel rested, they're tired and fatigued during the day, it could be any one of the other 84 sleep disorders that are out there. So, as we age, we don't sleep as well. And we do sleep less. That doesn't mean we don't need to, though. We need at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night for most adults.
That was my next question.
Absolutely.
So regardless of whether we do or don't sleep as much, even though we get older, we still need.
You still need that 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And that differentiates across ages. Of course, the younger you are, the more sleep you actually need. As we all know,
teenagers,
right?
Teenagers,
Yes.
teenagers. They need between 10 and 12 hours of sleep. That is what they need. As we all know, they don't get that.
No.
Which is, where a lot of ADHD issues arise from. It can be misdiagnosed as that when it's just that the teenager isn't getting enough sleep. So again, that's another sleep disorder that we see.
And lack of good sleep can lead to other health issues.
Absolutely. Sleep apnea specifically is linked to high blood pressure issues. You're more increased for stroke, heart disease. Diabetes is harder to control if you have untreated sleep apnea. We have many patients that come through our sleep center that are on 3 and 4 different high blood pressure medications because they can't get their blood pressure controlled. We study them, they have sleep apnea. We get them treated, they can come off of some of the blood pressure medications. So absolutely, the one thing that I love to say is sleep is just as important as breathing and eating. It's one of those things that humans have to do. We will literally die if we don't sleep. So, I try to encourage patients to think of your sleep just as important as you think of your heart health, because it is just as important in our daily functioning as humans.
Well, let me ask you this. If you're just a regular person and you're having a hard time falling asleep, staying asleep, but you don't have anything real severe, there have to be some guidelines that make it most favorable for you to sleep. So what would you suggest for
Are we
someone?
talking about sleep tips and hygiene issues? Absolutely. The biggest thing that we like to tell patients is get in a routine. Your body is made to sleep at certain times. So get a routine into your system. Make sure you're going to bed at the same time. You're waking up at the same time. Don't have things like TV or computers in front of you at night, which is a huge problem, because light is one of the main things that helps us regulate our sleep. So you have all that light in your face while you're trying to go to sleep. Your body's thinking it's daytime, and it's thinking it needs to stay awake. Make sure your bedroom environment is cool and dark. That is going to help your body recognize that it's time to go to sleep. And then we encourage patients, if you're in the bed and you haven't fallen asleep within 20 to 30 minutes, get out of bed, go do something very calming, and then come back, because you don't want to begin associating your bed with something you're angry at or upset about. So those are some really good sleep tips to help patients regulate their sleep a little better.
We're going to have to end this segment in about 30 or 40 seconds, but if a person, how do they get in touch with you, and can they make an appointment if they're having any of these symptoms? Because they probably do need to have a sleep study.
Absolutely. We have several board-certified sleep specialists in our area. Any one of those can refer into our sleep center. We do have some physicians that can directly refer into the sleep center, but most of our patients do have to be seen by one of those board-certified sleep specialists, and you can always call the Sleep Disorder Center and we can give you that information on who to contact.
Wonderful.
Great.
That's what we wanted to know. And we'll have Michael back next week.
We're going to bring you back next week, because I mean, obviously 84, we've just touched one.
Wow.
Absolutely.
So we'll get into it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being with us, and we'll get you sleepy next week. We'll be right back.